Hi, my name is Jackie and welcome to My Design Centre Basics with Echidna. In this video, I will be showing you how to use an image, such as a black and white line drawing or a colouring in page will do as well, to create a stitch out. Here is the design we will be creating today, and it's a great fun way to add a bit of creativity to your embroidery. My Design Centre is available on many Brother models. Today I will be using the Stellaire. But to make sure that we're all on the same page, we do need to change some settings once we get in there. So we're going to go into My Design Centre. We do need to go into our machine settings, and we need to scroll to our page that gives us our measurements. And we are actually going to change it to inches today. And let's go back to our embroidery frame display. We don't want anything displayed. So to do that, we need to set it to the largest frame, which is our 9.5 by 14 on the Stellaire. We also want to turn off our grid so that we have nothing displayed. And then we're good to go, ready for our next step. My Design Centre is available on many Brother models, and today I'm using the Stellaire to demonstrate on. The icon style or position on your machine may be slightly different to mine, but the names will be the same. When watching this video, we recommend taking notes, and also don't forget to pause or rewind when you need to. For this project, I am using an image from a USB, as this method is easiest to use on all machines. For Stellaire owners, you can also send an image using the My Design Snap app. And embroidery machines with a camera can also scan the image onto their machine. To keep it easy today though, as I said, I am using a saved image file on a USB. We're not providing you with an image for this tutorial, and encourage you to source a black and white image with a line size of about 1 mil. If the line is not thick enough, your machine will have trouble defining the lines. Here is an example of a good image and a not so good one. My design is featuring buttons today, and it's going to be a fun exercise in digitising. Please pause the video while you go find a great image to do our tutorial with, and we'll get started. Alright, so we're on our home page here, so let's go into the My Design Centre. Now we need to import that image that you would have on your USB, and we're going to convert it using our line function here in the My Design Centre. Now what we can do first though is we can select the stitch that we want it to stitch out in. So we're going to go into our line options here first, because I want to set how it digitises that line. So I'm going to do our double straight, and we're going to use our blue, and we're ready to set that as our option of how it's going to digitise it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is go into line. So this is where we load our image. Now you'll see on this screen that you have the option of using an app. For some machines, this is how you can transfer that image. Today we're just using our USB. If you're using the app though, you would use our Wi-Fi symbol here. Today we're using our USB symbol. So I have my USB loaded here, and we're going to use our buttons image we've saved. So we're going to set that, and it's loaded now. Okay, so you'll see that it has these two lots of arrows that we can move in and out. This is so we can actually select an area of an image. We don't want the whole lot. It also helps to eliminate any extra information that might be there from the scanning of the image that you may have done. Also, we have down here a grayscale detection level. That I'm going to explain on the next screen, because what I want it to do is digitise it first, so I want to see how it converts the image first up. So, and down the bottom here, you can see that it's already got our blue line, double stitch line selected, ready to go. So we go OK. And here we go, this is our image, and I can see I've accidentally cropped off my button here. So, but I'm quite happy with that image. But what I'll do first is to fix that, is just select return. And I can see just here, I've just come in a little bit too close. So let's go out a little bit and go back to OK. Now it's converted that. I have my complete button there. And here with our grayscale detection level, you can use your arrows left and right. Okay, what happens is it cleans up the image, or it can make it more defined, and it can also in the other direction clean it up in terms of any extra noise that's around the image that you've used. Now I'm okay with my image because it's quite clear and crisp. So if you're not sure, you can use your zoom tools here. Zoom in, check around the image, zoom back out of course. You can also look at the original picture and come back to how it's digitized it. Okay, so I'm ready to go. So we're going to set it. Okay, so it's brought our digitized image through. Now it's a bit hard for you to see at the moment because it's overlaid the original image that we brought in from the USB. Now I can see that we've got our red selection box around our design. So of course I can just select on the screen anywhere inside that box and move it up. And you can see there's our digitized image, and of course the background image is our one from the USB. All right, so we can change how much we see this by using these ones down here. So what I'm going to do is just undo that movement, and then I'll show you here. If I move it all the way to the left, it will show the design that we've just created. And then if I go all the way to the right, what we will see is the original image. So what I would recommend is you do something in between, so about halfway. Because my blue is so light, I'm actually going to go one more notch down just so I can see it a bit more. Now up here in our preview screen, this is the actual digitized image that we're going to be using, ready for us to play around with, and we can color in, we can erase, we can add to it if we so wish. So we're going to actually go into our button down here. I'm going to use our zoom tools. So we're going to zoom in, and I'm going to drag this down. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to erase all these tiny little lines, because what will happen is it will stop and start when it's stitching, and that can slow down the stitching process. So I do like to simplify sometimes the images when they come through. So we use our eraser. I'm just going to use our little square here. I'm actually going to zoom right in because it's going to make it a lot easier to get accurate rubbing out of our lines. So just go around and do it slowly, and we just move our zoom box down. Now of course on other machines you'll be able to use your hand tool once you're in your zoom mode to move your screen around to see where you need to rub out. And I've just gone too far there, so I'm just going to undo that one and rub out a little bit more. We're almost there, we'll just move it down a little bit more. Alright, so onto our next line, and if you accidentally go too far, like erase too much, you can actually use your pencil to just redraw that in, which I'm doing a terrible job, so we just undo that. And then we could use our eraser again, just to tidy that up. And you'll notice that I start away from the object and bring the eraser in. A lot easier to manage it. And I'm using the side of the machine to just sort of balance my hand. Okay, and then we'll move it one little bit more. And not too much more to do. And try not to do too much all at once, because your undo button will be your friend. Now this might be a little bit tricky. So I'm actually gonna erase probably all that and just draw in what I need to. Nope, undo that. Sometimes it takes a few goes, and that's okay. It's a little bit of fun. So we just undo that little bit there. Okay, and that's that section done. So we're just going to zoom out. Now there's another area here on my stitch out that I'm going to erase, and you can see all these little dashes on this button up here. Now it means it's going to do this really small stitch, cut the thread and move. and it just really slows it down. To me, it's probably not necessary, so I'm actually going to erase that as well. So we'll go into our eraser. I'm actually still going to leave it on that size. We'll zoom in again and just drag our box up, and this time we can do it pretty quickly. You can actually probably do a slightly bigger eraser and go around and just get rid of all those little stitches. It's a bit like colouring in a colouring in book, where you would, you know, choose where you want to colour and where you don't want to colour. It's the same process with our design here. Okay, so let's zoom back out. Now this is where you would colour in a few of the buttons and have some fun with it. So we'll start with our middle button. We're just going to fill the centre of our button. So we'll go into our fill options and we'll go to blue again, because I want it to be the same colour as my stitch out of the line. So I'm going to fill, oops, and I made a mistake. I forgot to use our bucket. So let's undo that. Use our bucket and it will fill the whole shape. Okay, so you can do that with various areas around the design that you've got going. So I'm just going to zoom in, and that area where I rubbed it out, I'm just going to fill, oops, wrong area, that area there. Okay, now you can go around and have a bit of fun with it. So I'm going to just fill in, and I missed the area. So sometimes it's good to zoom in a little bit further, just so you can fill that area. And I'm just going to move my zoom box and fill all our little areas here. And if you hear that knock sound, it means you're not quite in the right area. And for me, it was telling me that I was actually touching the line rather than inside the shape when I'm trying to fill it. Okay, so now we're going to zoom out again. And what I'm going to do is show you what happens if you have a gap in one of your shapes. So I'm just going to pick one of our circles here. And what I'll do is I'm just going to show you what happens. So I'm just going to create a gap, because I actually don't have one on this one. So I'm just going to put a little gap here. Let me zoom in a little bit more so you can see that there's a gap here. And then I'll just zoom out. Okay, so now we need to select our paint tin again, because to fill a whole shape we do need that paint tin selected. So now we can select inside that area, and as you can see, because it has that gap, it's filled the whole area outside the shape. So it doesn't fill obviously inside the other shapes because they're obviously closed as well. So we just need to undo. And I can actually just do undo again, and it will close that shape. It was a bit hard to see, but it actually has closed that shape up. If I zoom back in, you can see that that has closed the shape there. Okay, let's go back out, and we can continue to do our design. So we're going to change one of the lines around one of the buttons to, which is this one here that I took away some of the stitching. I'm just going to change it to a satin stitch, and we're going to select orange just so we can see it changing, and okay. And plus I like the colour. Let's use we've got to use our bucket to change the whole line. So touch on the line. Now it is a little bit hard to see, so if I take away that image that we have in the background, you can now see my lovely orange line. Now it doesn't look like anything at the moment, so for us to preview it to see how it's going to stitch out, we do need to go to our next screen. For some machines this is your preview screen. On Stellaire's we just need to go to the next one, and okay, and we can have a look at how it's going to stitch out, and continue to add colours or change the lines if we need to. So I'm actually going to return now, go back to our original screen. Okay, so now we're back on this screen. I'm going to continue to fill and change some of the line settings. Please have some fun with your design. You can fill it with all your colours. You can even use your extra background fills in here if your image is big enough. So just have some fun. Okay, now I'm happy with my design. I'm going to go into our next screen. Now remember, there are things that you can change here, but we're not doing that today. We're going to leave that. You can also go in here and change your colors and the stitch type as well. So we're going to go to our preview screen. And okay, because I like to check out my design before I save it. It's just loading that. I'm very happy with that. Some lovely colors going on. Yeah, I think that'll stitch out beautifully. So we're just going to return. I'm going to save it to our pocket, which is onto our USB. And then we go back into preview, where we can then set our design. So I'm happy with that. So we'll set that. It's going to convert it to an embroidery pattern. Okay. And there's our lovely design ready for us to stitch out. Okay, and we've finished our stitch out, and that looks really great. We did start with our lovely black and white image here, and look, you're going to have lots of fun using this technique. Don't forget, we have our other My Design Centre videos, and we will see you next time.